Hello.
Hello, how are ya?
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
Oh, they're going mute. Okay, you can hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Excellent. So, yeah, everyone, this want to welcome you to the episode 5 of the Wine Fine Podcast. The title today is Ladies Think Before You Speak, but before we get into all of that, and really just touch on what we want to, expound on. Zima, where can
Yeah.
everyone find you?
Oh, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Azima, Azima, the only. And you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's Ozidi Wellness and Fitness.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Now, where can we find you?
All right, so everyone, you can find me across all platforms. Camp Jogo Fit, that is KampJogofit on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Tap
Okay.
in. And then the ultimate goal, everyone listening, we want to be able to go live on YouTube. So, of course, YouTube, you got to have a specific amount of followers so you go live from there. So, if
Mm-hmm.
you would kindly follow us and subscribe there at the Wine Fine Podcast, as WINEFINE podcast. Go ahead and subscribe and tap in. So man, crazy. Before, we get into what we want to talk about today, Irene Cara,
You talking about the
she
lady from
transitioned.
Fame?
Yeah, she
Oh,
transitioned.
yeah, I heard.
Yeah, man, I mean, just listening to the songs, because I definitely was a big Fame fan when I was a little girl, and I
Yeah.
definitely loved, of course, Flashdance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I would admit that definitely wanted me, when I wanted to be in not martial arts, but like performing arts and stuff.
Yeah.
Being programmed by that so young, because it was like, oh, music. Just for like when I hear that music, I'm gonna get up and start pas de bourrée and stuff and doing like an attitude turn and
Mm-hmm.
plies
Jazz hands.
and jazz hands and all that. So when I hear that,
Yeah.
be doing all these PK turns and double PK turns and then a jump in the air and split in
Mm-hmm.
the air. Like I could like see all of that now just listening to the music. So, it's kind of nice when music can kind of like bring that out of you,
Mm-hmm.
or just kind of put you in that space where, wow, I'm like imagining things.
Yeah. Opens up
So,
your mind's eye into things you want to do.
oh yeah,
Yes.
yes. So don't be surprised if like in the coming weeks
What?
there's some
Surprised about
type
what?
of there's some type of TikTok video paying homage.
You go ahead and pay that homage.
Oh yeah, I gotta pay that homage.
Yeah, that's cute.
Oh man, how was your weekend? It was your
Ah,
happy
it was.
birthday. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a
It
good
was.
weekend. I just chilled out. I didn't go nowhere. I avoid people like the plague. So if
You
it's a
gotta
hot
do that,
weekend,
especially in this day and age, man.
I
Oh,
I
take a
just
little
I
break.
can't I couldn't bring myself to go outside. I didn't want to get stuck in traffic. I didn't want to be in a store surrounded by a whole bunch of people fighting over stuff. I didn't want to wait on a line. I didn't want to go food shopping. I was like, I'm just gonna eat at home. I'm not gonna do anything. I didn't
Yeah,
do
I feel
nothing. I
you.
stayed put.
Cause usually on the weekends I'll go to the supermarket, but you know what? I was just like, I got stuff here. I'm gonna throw together some soup.
Hmm.
I was like, I don't like. It's like I went to the gym a little something, walked outside for a little bit,
Hmm.
to get some of the sun, but you know, I still didn't really want to be around too many people.
Nope.
So I
I
feel you on
couldn't do it.
that.
I
Yeah,
couldn't compel myself.
people be
Nope.
weird nowadays too. Like really, like more so like back in the days. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. People driving. Ah, I just couldn't.
Oh, the driving. Oh,
Could it? I couldn't
listen,
do
the
it.
driving. Oh, it is even more terrible down here. At
Is
least,
it?
I mean, the thing is, like, if I can write a book about all the freaking violations people do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like the four-way stop signs. This chick decided she stopped after me and tried to go before me. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just gotta let people go because if I don't want to get into no accident and stuff, but it's just
Yeah, I don't
people
got
just
time for the
been
drama.
people drive stupidly nowadays. I mean, people, they don't want to stop at stop signs. They be, you be seeing them they be coming from one of them side streets on a major road. They be
Mm-hmm.
looking like, oh, if nobody's like right there, I'm just gonna keep going instead of, you're supposed to stop. But then at a yield sign, they'll stop at a yield sign.
Yeah,
That
at a
don't make
yield
sense to
sign.
me.
I'm like, it's supposed
You
to slow down, not completely come to a stop. Like, please
people
spare my
be
whole soul.
people be making left turns on red lights and stuff. I'd be like,
Yeah.
what in the world? But here's the thing. I be feeling like Georgia, they be trying to make people get into accidents and stuff over here. You wanna know why?
Why?
Because
Insurance?
at freaking rush hour time, they freaking have the yellow blinking light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So people gonna try it. They want to make that turn or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm feeling like Georgia make people get into more accidents than they need to. Like, why are you having that blinking yellow light during rush hour time? That don't make any sense. But I digress.
Yeah, please. We could go
But
all
yeah,
day on this conversation
I
just
know,
about
trust me. But
people and how they drive.
exactly, but we definitely need to get to the subject at hand. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, the video for anyone listening. Um, we posted a video that links to Facebook about a conversation with Young Joc and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of like just inspired this show because listening listening to what she said, I was like, what in the world? What kind of stuff is that to say to your husband or just say to anybody? Like,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I kind of, and the sad part about it, like I have met him before, not like really, really friendly or anything, but he's very respectful and everything.
Okay.
And he's a nice guy. His energy is real good and everything. So, for her to like kind of, say this, what she said, and I could go ahead and play that video so we could just kind of like just delve into it more because it was definitely
Okay.
interesting. So I'll go ahead and play it, and y'all let me know, you know, listen out for any points that you're like, oh, let's discuss that and everything
Go
because
ahead. Go ahead.
definitely needs to be heard. Well, that's how you put it. You said you won't want my son to be like me. I wouldn't want them to do some of the things that you have done. Okay, and I wouldn't want my daughters to do some of the things you've done. We're human. That's what I'm trying to say. To do majority of the things that I've done. Listen, what I'm saying is, when you talk about me, don't sum me up. Facts, right? Don't sum me up on the worst side of me or what you consider the worst side of me. Because ain't nobody fucking perfect. So don't do that. That's what I'm gonna do. Because as a man, guess what? I got to stand on mine too. Yes, guess what? Let me say something. I didn't go to college. Guess what? Fine. I want my kids to go to college. So we can say that right now. I don't want them to go that direction. I want them to go to college. I can say that with you too. Right. But don't sit here in front of the world, in front of a medium, and say, oh, I wouldn't want my son or your sons to be like you. Hold on. No, we got to you put some respect on my name. Because at the end of the day, I'm successful. I take care of my kids. Okay. Ain't none of my kids out here in dire need of love and support. Okay. So we're going to do that. Okay? Because I don't appreciate that. Because there's some things about you that I can say, I wouldn't want my daughters to do. Go ahead. I'm not going to do that. I respect you and I love you enough. I want this magazine to know what it is about me. You don't want your daughter. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Be my guest. I'm not gonna be slighted, honey. I'm not gonna do that. That's where we have to draw the line. Okay. Because I don't care because the camera in front of me or somebody asking me questions. I'm not gonna reveal my everything that go on with me. Just like right now, you ain't gonna sit here in front of these people and tell what your credit score is. You ain't gonna sit here and tell them your social security number. You ain't gonna sit here and tell them what's in your bank account either. I won't. Okay, so some things are better left fucking unsaid and in the private, and that's what I'm gonna do. So when you addressing me, don't ever make it seem like I'm the worst of the worst, because I'm not. Okay. Because I came through and changed your life, and it wasn't about me having no money. It was about the integrity. It was about my integrity. It was about me standing up for you. It was about me helping you open your eyes to see things that no other man has gotten you to do. So when you talk about me and address me, please be mindful of that, because I love you for who you are, good and bad. You know I love you for who you are. What I would never say to the world that I wouldn't want my daughters to be like you, because then it makes me question, why are you with me? I'm not with you for the bad things. I'm not with you for having outside children. Don't ever say that again, please.
Word.
Well, you actually got it in this. Just don't let me hear you say that again. Okay. Please, thank you. You're not gonna do it. So yeah. So that is it was his wife Kendra, Yung Joc.
Oh, he's still married to her? Okay, go
Well,
on.
yeah. That's what it appears to be, because it appears they're interviewing for a magazine called Suave, SUAVV.
Wow.
And yeah, so she said, I wouldn't want my sons to be like you, or that. I mean, that right there is a real low blow. Like, how could you say that to somebody? Your husband at that.
Your husband.
Your children's father.
Yeah. Somebody has a comment. 2 comments.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and hear that.
I actually saw that interview, and I think she was very out of line for that. But the point was made that Joc put her in a situation of being on a drama-filled show, which, as you think of, you do, Bible states. So the brother put in the atmosphere where she became conducive to the drama.
Right.
But also as well, I do think she's very out of line for that. Being a man, and a man takes honor in a man, a child being the man that he is, or even better. Right? So that's what we want for our kids. But in general, I'm glad that he checked her and let her know that, hey, I'm the one put you in position. And she needs to know that. She needs to know that this brother been like that. And
I got one more. See.
Yeah, thanks for the continuation.
And it's the same thing. The brother, it's not even just the point. It's the notion that this brother has a conscience. He has a notion that he chose her to be the mother of his children. And that aspect, a true man respects that. And for her to go down that way and present that to him, of course, he's as a man, he's going to state that to her. She's a woman. She has flaws as well, but he's not putting all those things in the forefront. But since she put that out there, he had no choice to do that. Had no other choice but to do that, and just let her know that you're just not going to, basically man bash me like that. So on both ends, we sometimes both have to get, that dose of reality and press forward for the better.
Yes, I definitely agree with that.
I hear you. I just, I'm pretty surprised that, I mean, like, they don't powwow before they get on any radio and start talking.
Apparently not, because you could pretty much tell when something's kind of like rehearsed or whatever, or they want to do it for the drama, just do it, for views or whatever. But no, she really said what she said, and he meant what he said. And so they definitely did not have like no powwow, because it definitely, from his body language, he also appeared to be like shy, like what, not like shocked. Like he was like, "What the?" He had that "what
Yeah,
the
like where did
fuck"
that come
body
from?
language and everything. Like whoa. That's why I said in the beginning, like, yo, that was a low blow. Just just some areas that I wanted to like point out where kind of like there was like more to it than what she said. So one big issue is that she was ad libbing the whole time. So when you ad libbing, you're not listening to what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge issue that, a lot of people have. How can we get anywhere if we're both talking? How can we get that understanding if you're just like, uh-huh, yeah, well, doing all that, like, you're not listening.
Mm-hmm. I
And
hear you.
yeah. And then she also mentioned, oh, something, I accept your outside children. It seems like that was the huge issue right there,
Mm-hmm.
that he had children outside of their marriage or whatever.
I don't know.
And yeah,
I say if you have a problem, you shouldn't be dealing with it. But she chose it. She chose that whole life.
she
And to
did.
complain now made no sense.
It does not.
And
It
it just
absolutely
makes
does
her
not.
look like a person that's not choosing well herself. I mean, you don't want to put yourself in that position and you're going to sit there and complain about it and talk about how you don't want your kids to be like your own husband. It doesn't even sound right. It
Yeah, that
don't
doesn't,
sound right at
that
all.
doesn't, yeah,
No.
that really doesn't make sense to me. It's like
Mm-mm.
people be wanting people that they're not ready for. So
Yeah.
by you having a problem with some things about him, that tells me you wasn't ready for him.
Mm-hmm.
You just wanted him because of whatever
He can
selfish
give.
reasons you had inside.
Yeah, what he can give. And now
Yeah,
she
what he
it's
can give.
yeah.
Exactly.
And now
Because
she sound miserable, and if she's miserable, maybe she shouldn't be with him. I don't
yeah,
think
but
I wouldn't say that there's something wrong with him, but she clearly has a problem, and she don't need to be with him, and should have chose wisely if that was her problem. That's what I think. But on the
well,
case of how she spoke, I would never do that to my husband. Never, ever, 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 ever.
right.
Because how does that make me look? And how does that make him look? I'm always worried about how he looks. So I'm not
Right.
going to insult him in front of everybody because all it does is make me look like the idiot as well. And I don't got time for that.
Exactly.
And she looked like a fool because she, like I said, she put herself in a position she was unhappy in. And she's talking about she don't want her sons to turn out like somebody who she would want her sons to be like. Every time I think about my son and his relentlessness, if that's the word,
Yes.
it reminds me of my husband. My husband is relentless when he wants something. And my son is the same way. I don't know how he got it. But I'm like, I hope he holds on to that until he gets older and gets what he wants in life. You know what I mean? And that's what I
Well, that's
want
a
for. I
beautiful
want my
trait.
son to have. I'm not relentless. I work hard, but I am not that relentless. I will not repeat myself. I will not chase and 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 go for the same thing over and over again until I get it. I'm like, I win some, I lose some. That's the way I look at it. With my husband and his son, my son, they're relentless. So and that's
Well,
something I like about them.
and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of women out there who don't feel that way. They
Mm,
think it's cool to talk to somebody, they man crazy or a man crazy like that. Like
no,
the other day, like
doesn't pay.
it really doesn't.
It doesn't pay.
Even you shouldn't even really talk to strangers like that. So,
I
just for me,
wouldn't dare.
just, just for example, right? So I was recording like a TikTok video like last week, and I'm in the gym in my own zone or whatever, really Planet Fitness. So maybe
Hmm.
this is why this happened. So just out of
Hey,
nowhere,
I love Planet
this dude,
Fitness.
yeah, out of nowhere, this dude come asking me questions like, I look, I did chuckle a little, but I was just like, I just answered his question. His question was, am I single or whatever. So, but then he just walked away after that. And I
Okay.
just, in my head, there was so many things I wanted to say, But then it's like, what's the point of trying to make somebody feel bad? I got to check myself on what energy I'm giving out that he had the audacity to ask me that, to even think he could
Smell
ask me
yourself.
anything. Yeah, I got to smell
I'm like, what
myself.
the
But,
hell?
I was just like, whatever. I don't know if it was a bet with his homeboys because, again, I didn't know where the heck he came from because I was like the only one. There was only like a few people in the functional training area besides me, and he wasn't one of them. So,
Okay.
anyway, let's hear some of these comments here.
For me, it's probably a thing for hypergamy status, and some women look for that. Love and hip hop put him in a different position. The brother probably had some financial investments and things like that in general, but I think on the flip side, this is what she wanted, right? So I don't oblige to saying that if you want to leave this man, you have a choice too. You have a choice to, do that. Nobody is forcing you to stay, but in general, she's not going to leave the bag. So this is what she's going to have to deal with. And no, this brother can become better. I mean, as men, as people, we make mistakes, but we grow from it. So
It's true.
Yeah.
That's very
Well,
true.
that's what the whole point is, to grow and to accept people and let people grow, so then you're not saying this is who you are all the time. If somebody's like, you're always like that. Well, I changed. Can't you see that I changed? I'm not always like this. And
Or or if somebody want to be with you, but then they want to change something about you, but like, no, this is how I am and stuff. That's,
yeah.
we're not doing that. Or like, I know too many people that, like, for example, that they're with somebody and they don't want them eating a certain way.
Mhm.
And it's like, but you knew that this person ate this way beforehand. Like, why are you trying to get with them and then try to change them? That doesn't, you know, like you don't
Yeah.
get to and build a bitch. you know?
Well, I don't
And the same thing
it,
with women. Like you don't get to try to say, "Oh, I like this about him, but I'm gonna try to change this about him." No, you accept him for how he is because
what
the experiences that he's been through makes him who he is and the man he's gonna become.
would you say that's what maybe she thought she can change him when she had him? You think that was her intent?
I
I
don't
feel
know if
like
that
she
was
just
her
got into
intent.
something that she got with somebody who had money, and
Yeah, that's exactly
she's a
what it
little
was.
miserable and she's talking out loud and didn't realize that she was beside herself, that she needed to
But
to
but he
stop.
definitely did put her down so eloquently, and he
Yes.
really did it. I was impressed. I was like, that was so he could have went in, but
Mhm. Well,
let's see
she
if we got
she
some more.
she got the right one.
Oh yeah.
for me, I'm a patient person, but I'm also an advocate to know a person respect themselves. They'll know exactly how to put those boundaries in motion. Um, as a man, I don't fully react to when a woman tries to disrespect me or things like that because I know myself and I know the placement that I stand in. So it's very important to know that notion. And that's how real men operate. But we will say what we gotta say and stand on what we gotta stand on. That's for sure. I just think that some sisters some women in general need to compel themselves to know that you just can't say anything. Words are powerful. Speak into the life of the person that you with. That's very,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that tongue is can definitely be a sword, man. Those words can definitely hurt.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could just when you look at the video, you could just see the disappointment in him when that came out of her mouth. Like, you know,
I'd have felt the same way.
I would have felt this.
I'd have
I
felt the
feel
same
that
way. I'm
for
like,
him.
who is this person sitting next to
Like,
me?
bitch, who are you talking to? You would not Like you wouldn't have the injections in your face. You wouldn't have that weave in your, that wig on here if it wasn't for me. Like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
and she ain't even apologize.
I don't know.
It's
If
like
she
she
didn't feel
did, but
compelled to
it was.
apologize, then she probably meant everything she said, and she was just that was her moment to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I don't know. There's probably some other stuff going on, but I definitely think those outside children is an issue for her. And
Yeah.
and that's another thing. Like women, I think they gotta stop like kind of like wanting men that kind of like haven't been out of that phase or whatever,
Mhm.
because it takes a lot. It's very rare that you come across men that be like, look, if I'm gonna be, married and stuff, it's gonna be my wife and that's it. But then there's a
Mhm.
lot of men out there who, have those extra babies and stuff and extra affairs and everything.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that she has to accept that, but she just gotta understand that that's gonna come with a territory, especially with the business that he's in. Like
Yeah.
you an athlete, entertainer, like you gotta be willing to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but this is what comes with all of that. It's not all
Well,
the time, but it's definitely majority of the time.
I think you just got to come prepared for anything that comes your way. I mean, like you can't
Yeah,
expect perfection from that kind of situation,
right,
and just count your lucky stars that you're cared for and everything like that. I'm not saying that she should feel like she's lucky because she got him, but
right,
there's a lot of people who just won't see it from her point of view because she basically put herself in that position.
right.
And yeah, and if she
Very
didn't like
true.
it, she would have avoided it in the first place. Because I would have. I wouldn't
Yeah,
care personally. I'm like, you got money, that's nice.
yeah. I mean, hey, definitely. I had my freaking times where I could have been with somebody who had some money, but it was like, eh. But the stipulations they had, and then whatever the
Yeah.
stuff that come with them, it's like just for example, I had my opportunities with dope boys. I told
Mhm.
him no, and then I know one of them that after I told him no, about a month later he got raided. How about I could have been in there
Mhm.
and been going to jail for some
Ruined.
accessory. So
Yeah.
you gotta be smart. You gotta understand that when you deal with certain people, it comes with some things, and
Exactly.
you gotta
Exactly.
decide, is this the right route for me? Let's
Yeah.
see what strong, gentle vessel.
Also, Jovani, Azima, how y'all sisters
Yes.
doing?
We're we're good.
Shout out to
Thank you.
the ISSA graduate. I am one as well. Enjoying my entry fitness training journey. Health is wealth for sure. And that's
Yes.
something that I always, as a kid, growing up to adult, fitness. Fitness is great for the mental health,
Yes, it
adding
is.
drive in different areas of your life and discipline. So go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes. Thank you for that. Let's see. We got a couple more comments here.
I think to me it's according to how the setting is with us speaking and talking, but for sure, voice vibration, the way that you speak to a person can help engage a person, especially with a woman, right? So a real man will be compelled to sit down and listen to a woman as she's relaxed. We both have a conversation and can get things across. Um, but I'm a fan of Young Joc. I've been listening to Young Joc for years in general, but I would say just on a man standpoint, the brother had a right to say what he had to say. He wasn't disrespectful. He just had to say what he had to say. And
Mhm.
I think that, status, money, and everything like that doesn't change the fact of just as individuals, work has to be done. And progress, can be done as well.
Correct.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I really appreciate how respectful he was to her. Like, despite him getting that like punch in the face from her with that comment, like in front of
Yeah.
everybody's.
Mm.
But he still. But I know
Came
she'll
correct.
never say that again. I know that for sure. She'll never say anything like that in public ever again. Cause
Let's
I'm
hope
sure he'll
so.
still probably still check her at the house too. Not anything, crazy, but just let her know, but like, don't do that shit again.
Yeah, that's what I would do. You do that
Yeah,
with your kids. You go into the grandma's house, watch your mouth,
yeah,
or you maybe your husband don't get along with your mother. Like, okay, try to be nice. Just we're communicating with each other before we get somewhere where we might not act right. So we try to expect the best from each other, and that's a conversation that really should have happened at home between the two of them before they got on
absolutely,
screen.
yeah, yeah. You gotta
But
have
he
conversations.
must have really trusted her.
Yeah, he trusted her a little bit too much
Yeah,
there,
too
cause
much. Yeah,
man,
he must
yes.
not. But that shows maybe there was no communication. They don't really communicate the way they should as a couple in a married relationship.
I don't know.
Because,
It's unfortunate. There's a lot of people that go through that.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Hmm. But hey, that'd be one of them things that, a reason that, hey, should we get married? Do we communicate good? Not just like, okay, he got money, let's do it. See, that could be a lesson,
mm-hmm,
hopefully, for other women that watch this. But like, you know what? It doesn't
mm-hmm,
appear that they communicate much. Maybe just
mm-hmm.
going for the money or going for the bag is not worth it.
No,
You gotta have some other stuff there. So let's
yeah,
see, we got two more comments here.
Progress can be had, and I had to get out of that phase too because I wanted people to change very quickly and fast, but I didn't want people to change me. So I had to take the concept out of me and stop doing that with other people. So it's best to work on self so you can self-analyze and not put that on other people. Right. So I
yes,
think that for
Yeah,
me, I can't conclude what they're going through and things like that, but that's their business. But I would
mm-hmm,
say if she's going to do that on camera, you got to understand it's a demographic of people watching, all type of people with different type of behaviors and things like that. That could say that she's right and he's wrong, or he's right and she's wrong,
mm-hmm,
right? But
mm-hmm.
the best thing to do, as he said and he spoke it, we should talk about that off camera. That's the best place. And
Yes,
a man's standpoint of how he presents himself is important.
yeah,
yes,
absolutely. That definitely, that this is the problem with social media now. Everybody's putting everything online. Like nothing's private anymore. And
mm-mm.
this
No,
that was
I don't.
definitely a conversation that should have been private.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because
Let's see.
if I got a problem, like I might have a problem with my husband. Maybe he did something that I didn't like. I'm gonna bring it to his attention the moment it happens when we're not at that
Absolutely, as you
place. You
should.
know what I mean? I'm not
As you
gonna go and start having a screaming match with him in the supermarket somewhere, or with
No.
my kids. I'm not gonna go and start wailing on them in the supermarket if they're acting like nuts. I'll take them in the car and I'm like, yeah, do you remember what you just did? This is what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So that you don't go and belittle the people that you care about in public,
Absolutely not.
because it injures them even more. It
Yeah.
hurts. You don't want to
You
hurt
don't
your
belittle
people.
them
You want them to know
anytime.
what they did. Yeah, exactly.
You don't
But you
belittle
definitely
them
don't do it
anytime, but
in public.
especially don't do it in
Yeah.
public, and definitely don't do it online, because when it's online, it's forever.
It's there forever.
It's there
Exactly.
forever, ever, forever, ever,
Forever, ever.
forever, ever.
Yep.
Let's see. We
Yeah.
got another comment here.
But she should know that. She should know that. You know, it takes a bit for a man to truly establish himself. The brother definitely got history in the industry. Um, has his own way of doing business and handling his business, and that gotta be respected as well. I watched some of his interviews, and Yung Joc is a pretty smart guy. So, and genuine as well. I can say. But yeah, it shouldn't be like that anymore. I mean, if we want to be in relationships and things like that, we gotta put the work in. You know, nothing without work will work, right? So that's what make
Exactly.
it worth it. You know, so just like physical training, you have to put the work in order to see results. So,
And Strong Gentle Vessel did bring up a good point earlier that I just want to circle back on, talking about the whole self help and self awareness and everything. That is great. For people that are willing to do that. A lot of people aren't willing to really take that deep dive into themselves, and she would probably be one of those people.
What, they need
But
to take that deep dive?
that don't want to do that, that's not willing to look at their demons and look at that ugly side of themselves. Not,
Yeah, because he did mention, he was like, would you be okay with me doing that to you?
right,
Say, oh, I don't want my daughters to turn out like you,
right,
on the radio, saying
exactly.
that to everybody in the world. And,
Yeah,
she just, carelessly says, oh, go ahead, go ahead. And he's like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to
no.
you.
It's like you
It,
wouldn't tell nobody your credit score. She's like, I wouldn't be
no.
ashamed. Like, she really just got that, like, you know, young Jock probably elevated, mentally from when he started to where he is now. She probably is like in the same mentality that she was when she met him. And that's
Mm-hmm.
probably could be another underlying issue for her. Because it's like he's growing in a different direction, but you're not growing with me. And, that's where the self help is important. Strong Gentle Vessel also mentioned about, the physical training and everything. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, if you're not willing to do that work and then, of course, do the work in the kitchen, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
get that ideal body, or you're not going to get that slimmer, leaner body and stuff. It takes work, no
Not
matter
gonna
what
grow.
you do. Yeah, you're not going to grow. And
Mm-hmm.
it'd be nice, if she could, grow or whatever, because I'd like to see that, with women to have that growth and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully also the younger females watching this are watching the video of them. Hopefully they could be like, wow, that was, you know, not nice or not cool for her to do that. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel sad for anybody that does agree with her, you know,
Well, hurt people,
hurt
you
people.
know, they might agree. It's that I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, what's behind why she would say something like that? What compelled her to do that?" And say, "Oh, there must be more going on behind their relationship." But we can't be the one to assume about that. The only thing you can see is that she hurt him, and it showed on his face. He was surprised by it, you know. So it's and she didn't seem like she had a problem with it, what she did, until the end of the interview, you
Yeah,
know, when she acknowledged what she just did.
yeah,
But I think, when you're not thinking before you talk, you don't see what you're doing until you see it on somebody else's face that you hurt them,
yes. You gotta
you
think
know.
before you talk. And
So,
she, she definitely just let it out, whatever was on her
mhm,
mind. And, you gotta think about the repercussions. Like, how is this gonna make a person feel? And everything.
mhm,
So of course we didn't see probably like the whole interview with them, but she was probably whatever they was talking about prior to this area here, she was probably still cutting him off and not really listening to him. And so when you're not
mhm,
listening, you tend to just blurt whatever's out. And you're not thinking
mhm.
about, oh, how is this going to impact him later? Like, oh, we on social media right now, like what is the repercussions from this, how are people going to view me, like Didn't think of that.
That's why I said I think it hurt her more. It hurt her more because if she's with him, I'm sure she's building her own personal brand, and it just it didn't work for her to be that be that kind of voice.
Well, you gotta be willing to do the
Yeah.
work because you can't, she can't do it with the mentality of, oh, she gotta basically get out of his limelight, not really get out of his limelight, but we know Young Jock's wife. Okay, are you really talented? Or are you really a business mogul and stuff? She gotta
Mhm.
do that work and not do her brand based on what her husband's name is.
Yeah. And what you said she was on Love and Hip Hop? Is she currently on it?
Probably, I
Maybe
don't
she
know.
just maybe the influence of being on a show that's just like venting whatever pops up in your head. Maybe she was probably on a roll, and just took it out on him, and instead of, like you said, listening
I don't know.
to.
I can't stomach those shows. I just end up seeing the clips on social
Yeah,
media
I'm
and
not
be
a
like,
big
wow,
reality TV
I
fan,
can't do it.
so yeah.
Maybe Ice Road Truckers and I forget what that Discovery show I used to watch when they used to be capturing blue crabs and stuff. That type of
Oh, okay.
reality show for me, but not no freaking real life stuff. Not no That's
Yeah,
not
I
real.
don't watch
What
any
they
of it.
doing, not that that stuff doesn't happen in real life, or that drinking and fighting and everything, but I just can't stomach it. I can't tell you the last reality show I watched, to tell you the truth.
Mm. Hey, we got a comment.
Oh yeah, let's see. Hold up.
And the thing about it is that the brother has love for her and respect from a woman to a man is very important because it shows that woman that she respect his growth, she respect the whole aspect of him. And for me, that's very important. If a woman don't respect me, she don't love me. And that's how we are wired. So we have to go to the placement where we are truly wired, how God created us. And once we go into that placement how God created us, we can function well and have fruitful
Hmm.
relationships, And I think that she does. Marriage counseling would be great. That's a safe space for them to actually speak and talk with the third party.
Hmm.
But in general, doing it over shows and stuff like that, the brother is accountable for his actions with that. But marriage counselor would be.
Yeah. You know what? Just listening to Strong Gentle Vessel made me have like a thought about her. Right. I don't think that she's grateful for him or what the position he put her in,
Well,
because
I think the way she spoke, you would come to that conclusion, But I wouldn't say I wouldn't know what she's grateful for. All I know is that she opened the door for people to come to that conclusion that she's not grateful.
that is true, and I definitely did,
Yeah.
and I will stand on that.
Hmm.
Let's see, we got another comment here.
So I'm gonna give you just another instance, a viral moment, and I think the brother should not went there. A young brother was on a amusement ride, a water ride, right? And he said, "Don't I get you wet like this, baby?" And she said,
Oh,
"Nah, you don't. The ride give me
Ooh,
more wetter than you." And I was like, "Whoa."
damn.
And the
he
next
opened the
thing
door for
that
that
was
one.
said is that you're not big either, And the girl in behind him said, "Yeah, I do agree with her." And to me, that dilemma is what he put himself in for sure. But I would say the sister just was very loose with what she said, and it's viral, it's permanently viral. So it was another brother in the ride with them, and yeah, that was a pretty quiet ride after that.
Dang, no.
Oh,
Nigga, no, I get you wet like this. Like, no. Dang. Yeah,
ouch.
Yeah, that is ouch.
Ouchity, ouch, ouch. I don't know, man. That's why you.
Compatibility, don't just be with somebody just because, like, oh man, that sucks. I couldn't be with somebody that, would ask me that question and it wasn't true. We would have had to already establish that beforehand.
Mm-mm.
But
Yeah,
yeah, they both
that left me speechless.
yeah, it really did.
It's
Like,
really whack.
like dang,
Yeesh.
that's whack. Like, how do you, like, don't be setting yourself up for anything like that. I'm glad I've
Mm-mm.
never been in that position. Ah, thank you.
I never asked that in public, at least.
Yeah, you
Not
don't
in
do
public.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah, 'cause I'd be pretty private and stuff. So yeah, nobody know that. I'm glad, grateful to have never been asked that out in public for anybody. Be
Mm-mm.
put on the
I'm like, we'll talk about
put on
this
the
later.
spot. Like, oh my God, the migraine just came out of nowhere.
Mm-mm.
Like digress, like
I digress.
deflect.
Yeesh.
Let's see, we got another comment here.
And I really think that he put himself in that position, but the person that you chose was immature. Again, some women air these things out for attention, or I mean, it either basis the truth, but she could have kept that to herself. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of these young sisters are not mentally mature or really don't think at that portion of point of time. That's your man. And some elements you do stroke his ego, right?
I
Um,
I'm just
I
saying.
know she didn't want to lie, but definitely stroke his ego because a brother can change the whole dynamic. You teach that brother how to do that. But from a fruitful standpoint, I just think that brother definitely do need to leave that sister alone. Not put yourself in that element. Growing bill, just testosterone up. Put the right stuff in your body, bro. You won't have that issue.
Yeah, he eat right. It'll probably change the situation, but that's not even the point. The point is maybe he should have never asked that question, and he wouldn't have gotten the response. It was an inappropriate question, and he got an inappropriate answer. So he played himself asking that question at that time. I mean, like, why would you
Dang,
compare? Mm-mm, no, that's something you ask
shame.
in the bedroom, and that's it. At home, not out in public. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Mm-mm. Yeah,
Oh
that's messed
man.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, the biggest takeaway that, I want for others to take away from this is, just especially, for the women. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because the amount of, things we see women say online is just really just starting to get crazy. Um, you
Mm-hmm.
know, bottom line is she was out of line. And I just hope there's a lot of other women that don't agree with her and her actions, because we do, to a degree, do have to stroke our man's ego.
Our man's, not somebody else's.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just speaking in general. Your man,
Mm-hmm.
husband, whatever. I'm not saying, but
Okay.
you got to stroke that ego. He wants to feel like a man, and but you definitely don't want to go the route of her, like wanting to, make him look bad in public like that, like bitch slap him in public, like you
Mm-hmm.
disrespected me in front of like the world. And I feel that that comment was very disrespectful, and
Mm-hmm.
she definitely should have thought about that before just blurting it out.
Yeah, that is so true. I
'Cause
I honestly, I can't imagine doing that to my husband, to any man in my life,
I can't imagine doing the
to any
same thing.
man, to any
Like,
woman, to a child. It's just you you leave them not prepared to respond back to that kind of comment.
yeah, it's like we got society for that already. Society already
Yeah,
does a very good job of belittling
breaking you
us,
down.
breaking us
Mm-hmm.
down, disrespecting us, telling us what we gotta do, or do stuff behind the scene. We got enough of that already.
Mm-hmm.
Person to person, we don't need to be like that to each other, and especially don't need to be like that to your significant other.
Mm-mm. No. Yeah.
Let's got another comment here.
I would say for me, that probably wouldn't even cross my mind. For me, as men, we just need to be action takers. If he implements something like that, yeah, that's true. He got what he asked for. You know, his question. He know what type of woman he was dealing with, young lady he was dealing with. I don't know if it was just a video he created, but it seems like his reaction was very genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, actions speak louder than words, and I think sisters actually need to explain to a man how to get that, those spots if you with that man. But definitely, it's herbs, exercise, all these things play a major factor. You go no flap for a minute, everything else.
Look, all I know is that you try to tell a man what to do about your body, and that whole ego stroking thing goes out the window. For some people don't like being told how to handle things they think they know how to use, and will get very upset if you try to tell them how to do it, even though it's your body as a female. So, yeah, you
Then
definitely have to know who you're dealing with.
if you come across somebody
Period.
like that that's not even willing to take any
Nope.
coaching from you on how to deal with your body, then you don't need to be
Mm-hmm.
dealing with that person.
Exactly.
I wish a
So,
month tell
like, I
you
know what
one
I'm
thing, you
doing
doing
here,
something
girl. I'm
else.
telling you, it don't work.
Like look, don't freaking tickle no feather on my toes. I don't like that. Like no, I know what I'm doing. You're gonna like this. Like no, don't do
No,
that.
don't
Not
do it.
you know. uh like or what some other
Yeah,
dumb stuff people do that, I don't know.
try to
That's
rip your nipples
hilarious.
off, but I
Or
yeah.
twisting, huh? Like twisting somebody's nipple. Like the last girl I know like this. Fuck, I don't do that shit.
I
Or the
yeah.
freaking,
Some people have strong offense to you telling them how to do stuff
or the people that
for
all of a
some reason.
sudden, or how about this? These past couple years, you know, everybody's okay with either eating ass or getting your ass eaten. Like, don't you do that shit to me? I don't do that. I don't want that.
I don't
Like,
do it and I don't want it.
I don't
But
want it. No, thank you.
but that like the whole story goes. You gotta be careful who you pick because then you
Yeah,
can't complain if you're still with them and they're doing the things that make you miserable. You
right.
know, you're playing yourself and you're looking
Def-
like a fool when you complain.
exactly. And
Oh.
there's definitely a lot of value in getting to know a person first before just,
Mm,
just going along the way, just going with the motions. Like, we'll just
yeah,
figure it out along the way. No, you got to know if this
yeah,
is somebody that you want to deal with so you don't have to have conversations like this in the long run. Talk about, I don't want somebody to be like you. Like, what do you mean? Like,
exactly.
I said earlier, and even Strong Gentle Vessel said he got a good vibe about himself. Young Joc, very respectful. He is, definitely a man, you know.
Mm,
So she better not ever do that again. And I hope he said that to her.
that'd be nice. But mm, mm. This was
Oh
an
man,
interesting conversation.
very
I was
interesting.
I wasn't expecting it to the that video that you played to turn out that way.
Yeah,
And but yeah, I
yeah.
can't I couldn't I wouldn't and no one should do something like that to somebody.
I mean, and
Yeah.
then like
That
Yeah,
can ruin
I was
everything.
done at the first comment. I was just done at that. I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, yo, she is a fool. But hey, hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
she learns, and hopefully she can be the one a year from now to say to other chicks like, hey, don't do that. That's not the move. Maybe she can be
Yeah.
the vessel for that. We got one more
Yeah.
comment. Oh.
I mean, it's easy as one, two, three. That's a base of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, it might be spots that another person haven't reached that the person may reach. So men, we think like that. Like, yeah, I can probably do something different. Women knows their body, but we are more compelled to we'll listen. But we also like to be dominant, man. We are dominant. So for me, I might think about spots that the other person didn't reach. And I'm not thinking about
Mm-hmm.
the other person, but I mean, my woman body is one with me. So I'm gonna try to reach different peaks with my woman that only I can do. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just how men think.
Yep, I can dig it.
Yeah.
But man, it is so beautiful how time flies. This is another dope points here. So just some areas that we would just want to point out that are just key. Um, be mindful of what you say before you say it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Probably in later shows we can talk about tactfulness and assertiveness, but also giving feedback in a way where it can be digestible to the other person and where they won't get offended. That's definitely something that we can touch on as well.
I
But
feel like people are at this point in their life where they're saying, "I don't want to tip tap on your feelings," but then they need that for themselves. Like everybody wants to, be real and say what's on their mind and say, just say stuff. But then they can't take it when it comes back to them. Like I know I can handle somebody being real, but if I was to be real with somebody else, like I'm sure I'm just talking about all your flaws and why you're not successful and why you're miserable and stuff like that. Like somebody would literally be upset because of the things that I'm recognizing about them. So
and
I
then they
think
could flip
that's
it and
the
say,
problem.
hmm
What? Yeah, I think that's the
no, then they
problem.
could say,
Nobody
oh,
wants
that's,
to be tactful.
well, yeah. I mean, people are gonna have to learn to
Nobody
be
wants to be
tactful.
tactful.
Nobody wants to be, but there's power in being tactful. We don't ever want to, bring somebody's spirits down just because we're feeling crummy inside. Or maybe if you're feeling crummy inside, you don't need to be talking to anybody.
Yeah, because when I feel crummy inside, I definitely keep my mouth shut
Oh yeah, I definitely
for the
keep my
sake of
distance
others.
when I don't feel like being bothered. Like you know
I really
what?
put my
Like
effort
don't
into it.
don't ever look at no social media posts if you're feeling crummy because that's when them crazy comments come out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
All
this
right.
was another great show. Ladies, think before you speak, and
Yeah.
this goes for anybody, but especially women.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because you made a great point a little while ago saying that people can dish it out, but they can't take it back. So, if you could take
No.
it, then if you could throw them blows out there, you got to be able to take it as well. But she was ready to take
Exactly.
it, but no, he wasn't gonna do that
I don't
because
think she
he
was
doesn't
ready to
want.
take it.
Yeah, she knew he wasn't. That's why she was talking that smack. Talk about go do it, then say it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But yeah, Zima, where can
Yeah.
everyone find you?
Oh, you can find me again on Instagram and TikTok as Azima the Only, Azima the Only, and you can find me on Facebook, and YouTube as OZIDI Wellness and Fitness. That's OZIDI Wellness and Fitness. And you can shop in my store, www.cnlny.com. And where can they find you, Joe?
Yeah. Well, yes, they can find me on TikTok, Facebook, IG, and Instagram. I said Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Camp Jogofit. That's KampJogofit. And we would like to eventually go live on YouTube, everyone. So if you could also follow our podcast on YouTube at Wine Podcast. That's WINEFINE Podcast. Let's get our subs up over there so that we could go live from there. And let's see, we got one more comment and then we're gonna sign off.
I'm gonna say this. When you start to work on those elements, certain things till you feel, I would say, more fulfilling. Even having a connection, right? Having a connection. The more you work on yourself, it makes the connection more fulfilling. And that's
Yes.
what relationship growth is about. And I'm pretty sure they'll get to an element where they get stronger and things like that. She realized what man she has, and I think the brother is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, when you don't work on yourself, the relationship is only a momentarily fix. So once you work on yourself, you'll be able to know exactly where that relationship is initially may go, truly may go. And it's more fulfilling and you'll be more connected to that person physically, mentally.
I agree.
I definitely have to agree. I detect no lies there at all.
Okay. All
So,
right.
so glad we could get these jewels dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Yes, it was
So,
good talk.
indeed, absolutely. So, Azima, you have a great night.
You too. All right.
Thank
Take
you
it
so
easy. We'll
much.
see you on next Sunday.
Yes, see you next Sunday. Bye bye.
Bye.